Jordan, your favorite residential real estate agent with Keller Williams The Woodlands. I wanted to give you a quick update. We have a very busy summer. I have 7 right now in escrow, 1 just closed last week, and we are super heavy on the listing side. I have a few buyers, but the majority is always sellers. And what I had recently a whole lot, so much that I thought I should share with you, are rescues. I call it a rescue when the listing was with another agent before and it did not sell. So we had one, it was listed 6 months, did not sell. It was so long on the market, the freeze came and a pipe broke, and you run into the risk even of squatters or people going into the property and destroy things just for the fun of it. So when you sell a house, you want to sell it quick and you want to sell it high. And usually the two of them, they go hand in hand. There is no selling it after 4 or 5 months and then all of a sudden you have a bidding war. It's just not out there. You have the most interest the moment you come on the market, and you want to create interest. And there are certain ways how you as a seller help me as your agent to create that for you. And then there are very few sellers. They do not listen to what I have to say, and they are basically the real estate agent themselves. Or often what I do see is they're in a lot of fear. I had recently a divorce situation, and the two of them did not get along, and everything was difficult. All the communication was charged and difficult between them. And I try to be the voice of reason, but sometimes there is not much that we can do. So we just listed it and it took us a hot second. Took me over 30 days, what is very long for me, just over 30 days, but took me 30 days to get it executed, and now we are ready to close. So when people listen to me and I share my listing strategy, it is not rocket science. Real estate is not that difficult. It's like anything else in sale. When you have limited inventory, like one house, and there are many people looking for a house. What is the current market still? We're still in a seller's market. We're not in a buyer's market, and I don't think we will see it in Houston area. There's a certain way how to create interest to get many people into the door. Then the elbows are coming out, and then everybody wants this one house. And there is a certain way how to get it up and nice and high, and all of that in a matter of days usually. So that is what I had recently. I had one listed 6 months plus before with a different agent. From first meeting to being completely done at title company was 31 days. The seller said, it took so long, it was such a nightmare. I'm like, well, it was a bumpy road. You were on the market before for a long time. But we got you sold for a very satisfying price in a very satisfying time. But of course, those 31 days, they felt like the longest time ever for this seller. And then I had another one, what was listed 600 plus days. So that is like, I was a little bit scared. Even I was a little bit scared when I took the listing. And I talked to the seller, and the seller was like, okay, thank you very much. I think the value is XYZ. I'm like, well, I agree with you. And then we talked about how to list it, and he was amazing. He said, how would you sell it if it would be your own house? I'm like, thanks God, that is what I'm looking for. So I shared with him, and I'm like, it sounds brutal, but this is how I would sell it. And he said, you know what, let's rip off the Band-Aid. I'm ready to sell this property. Show me what you got. So of course, in that moment, I was under the pressure to hopefully it works. It worked so many times. Hopefully it will work this time, because if not, I cannot blame the seller. The seller did everything what I said, you know. So thanks God. Long story short, I cannot share the details, but long story short, excellent. When the elbows are coming out, there's always that one crazy buyer that goes above everybody else. Yeah, you have a multiple offer usually, and then there is the one that is just spectacular. Sometimes you have 2 up there. Yeah, so then we work with the 2, and the highest wins usually. Usually it is the highest net proceeds for the seller. Sometimes the seller is in a stress and they want to sell very quickly. That is very rare. Most sellers, let's say a cash offer and a little bit higher financing offer. Usually sellers can wait for the financing offer, and usually it is so solid. We have very few where they actually have to terminate because the financing itself doesn't work. Sellers often overestimate that. I had today a conversation not to offer FHA. Some sellers do not like to offer to VA, so to our veteran buyers. And honestly, I almost don't see it that deals are iffy or complicated or even fall through. I had one, we had to send out a painter. There was a little bit of wood rot. Buyer knew that. Buyer was willing to exchange the wood trim anyways, but the FHA lender said this needs to be painted over. So we sent over a painter $300 later, and we saw the closing table. So it's usually not, it has a reputation from the past, but since I've been doing that the last years, I have not seen any transaction falling through because of the type of financing, except you have a full-blown fixer-upper and you know the place needs to be sold in cash or so. But we don't see that very often. So don't be afraid of VA buyers, don't be afraid of FHA buyers. And if you are a buyer with VA or with FHA, and the last 3-4 years, no one even looked at your offer, you didn't get a foot in the door, right now is the time to buy. And this will change when interest rates come down. There will be, again, more competition. We have a lot of buyers, a buyer backlog, buyers that are waiting the last 1-2 years to purchase. And right now they all say, you know, we're waiting for the election, we're waiting till next year. Guess what happens next year when everybody is waiting? There will be more competition, and if you are a buyer with skinny pockets, how I call it, or you have very low down payment or very low closing cost available, you just don't have much in your piggy bank, now is the time to buy. Everybody and their mother tells me we're waiting till next year. So if you are the one that is daring to pull the trigger, good for you. By the way, right now, what we also do see is right now, and that always changes. Right now, FHA is cheaper in the interest rate than conventional. So I recently had a buyer and they could totally have gone conventional. They were solid in their down payment, solid in their credit score, solid in their savings for closing costs. They did not need any help with that. But what we actually can negotiate often. But FHA gave them such a better interest rate, despite mortgage insurance and all of that, it was still cheaper. So we have right now some buyers, they switch from conventional to FHA. And with the sellers that I talked this morning, I shared that. And I said, you don't want to not pick a buyer that picked FHA because it is simply cheaper currently. And we don't know when the offer comes in. We don't know. Of course, we try to talk to the lender, but we don't know what is at the end of the day their motivation. And as long as they see the closing table with us, all the money is green. We don't care where it comes from at the end of the day, as long as they're able to close. So that was a little bit of an update regarding the real estate market. We are right now just over 6% interest rate. If this is too much for you, I don't know. I think that is a pretty good interest rate. And also do not forget, when rates come down, prices go up, because what the elbows come out, you will have more competition. And then the price that you at the end of the day have to pay down over the years, the loan that you're taking out will be higher when you wait. So the lenders that I am working with, most of them are offering a 3-year refi. So for 3 years, you do not pay the lender to refinance into a better mortgage interest rate, but you lock in the price that you get the home for. And right now, we see some sweet prices out there. So if you dare, let's have a conversation. I talked recently to a lot of people that are ready to purchase and they were not quite aware of. Right now, we still can negotiate with the sellers. A lot of sellers are giving carpet allowance. I have not seen carpet allowance in ages. So all of a sudden, we're seeing carpet allowance. And my buyers were like, the carpet is not that bad. We do a steam cleaning. We have kids. So we can negotiate closing costs. We can negotiate with the lender's help for down payment. There are down payment assistance programs. So we see people buy with very little money in their pocket. And when the market gets more competitive, they're not getting a foot in the door anymore. Okie dokie, that was my 2 cents for the market. 832-444-4923. If you have any questions regarding real estate, I'm here for you, okay? Just send me your friends and your family. Nice people know nice people, and I would love to help you guys, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Julia Jordan, your favorite real estate agent. Bye.